Welcome to Cafe Long Island. I'm Tasha Ewart. I'm here with Stefan Acevedo and Keith B. Robinson, and the topic of today's discussion is small business. We're here with Nancy Fletcher Skeete and Donald Durant. Welcome to Cafe Long Island, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I wanted to ask, are you a member of the Long Island community?
Yes, I am. I reside in Uniondale for over 30 years. I'm a member affiliated with Uniondale Chamber of Commerce and Uniondale Community Council, very active in my community.
Hi Nancy, how you doing? I wanted to ask you, what is the major role of the Uniondale Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce is in business to help establish new businesses as well as work with established businesses. And we also work with the civic groups to improve the quality of life in Uniondale.
What are some of the concerns or major issues that are facing small businesses here in Long Island?
Well, one of the problems is taxes, and a strong Chamber of Commerce to help businesses grow would help alleviate the taxes for the business as well as the residents, which is very important.
Yeah.
And with the Coliseum not being rebuilt yet, we're very concerned about that. That has a very big effect on the businesses, especially on Hempstead Turnpike.
Are there any actions you guys are taking to sort of...
The legislator is still working on it.
I also had a personal question. I know that I've talked to this with family members a lot of times, and I wanted to know how do small businesses, certain small businesses like bodegas or corner liquor stores, how do they affect the community? Do they give a negative stigma to them?
What I would like to see instead of that would be to build some type of an establishment where our young people could go, like a cyber cafe, where they can go someplace after school, do their homework, get internet action, as well as a good meal. Because there are many children in the school today that once they leave school, they don't have that good meal.
Yeah.
You know, and the cyber cafe, because everything is online today, they can go there, get Wi-Fi, do their homework, as well as socialize and network.
Yeah, the more support, the better.
Yes.
How would we go about, what would be the first step or stages to go about that? Like, if you're a community member and you wanted to take action towards that, how would...
Well, actually, there is something that they're trying to work on in Uniondale. John J. Burns Community Center has been raising funds to redo a piece of property over at A. Holly Patterson, and he's been working on it for quite a few years. David Greaves is the founder of John J. Burns, and they have been working quite extensively trying to build a community center for our young people. And, there's always a bad stigma about our young people, and, they always show them doing negative. There's a lot of good kids in Uniondale.
Yeah.
A lot of good kids. We have a program called Science Research where Dr. Lickman has run that for over 10 years. My son is a graduate of that program. And a lot of the kids, they go on to become doctors, and they go into all types of fields from that.
You talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you may have gone through in opening your business.
Well, one of the main challenges that I find is to be on the right street. Location is key. And without that working for you, you have yourself at a disadvantage. And my current business located on a main drag, I happen to have 3 views from traffic, so it helps me in that way, but I don't have a lot of walk by.
People will be maybe watching the show, maybe they're thinking about opening up a business, or just thinking how in terms of how I want to open up a business. What can I do, or some of the steps that I can take to open a business? And that's you can talk about this as answer that as well. But I'll direct the question first to Don. So what are some of the steps that you took, or they could go to open up their business?
Well, I think one of the steps is to believe in the business you're opening. Don't just open a business because there's a for rent sign. Believe in the business you're in. Talk to organizations and chambers of commerce where you are, because they have insight and inside pointers that they can give you. And also make friends with your banks so that they're willing to trust you and trust your judgment in running a business.
3 most important things, if you could break it down that way, maybe there's more, but if you had to say, what would be that? What would be 3 things you would tell me?
Don't let hours become your enemy, and don't be in a business that you really don't love. And you have to put a high weight on your client base, and when you build your client base, they are friends. They've done you a favor. They had choices. when they chose to come to your business, and make them feel appreciated for making the decision to come to you.
Okay. Nancy, you have anything to add to what Don was saying?
Yes, I do. The first step to me to build a strong business is to build a business plan. That's your roadmap to success. And it's not easy to do. And there are a lot of organizations out there to help you with it. There are a lot of organizations like you have SCORE, which is Service Corps of Retired Executives, that will help you develop your business, and they don't charge you anything. There's LIDC. There's a lot of places out there, a lot of resources out there that your library can help you with, and the chamber, like you said, the Chamber of Commerce is very big with that. As a matter of fact, I know one of my local banks has a seminar coming up, and one of the things they're going to help businesses develop a business plan. It's like $40 for 3 sessions, and it's very economical. So contact Uniondale Chamber of Commerce. We're on Facebook. We have our own website, and we're also members of Nassau Council Chambers. So we're not hard to find.
And Don, would you like to leave your information so people can get in contact with you as well?
Well, currently you can reach me on Facebook, Donald Durant on Facebook, and I'm also on myspace.com/originalwriter, and of course right here at Copyman Copy Center in the heart of Baldwin, 2436 Grand Avenue in Baldwin, 2 doors in from Merrick Road.
Hi, earlier on I got the chance to sit down with Mr. Donald Durant to find out more about the man and his business. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Stefan Acevedo, and I'm here with Donald Durant for Cafe Long Island. Donald is the owner of the Copyman Center here in Baldwin, Long Island. And Donald, you are a man of many skills and many traits, aren't you? You do quite a lot. You're a playwright, playwriter, director. You also are an author, and you even host your own blog.
Blog Talk
on your radio. You know, and also a small-time business owner as well, which we can see. How did you get into owning your own business, Copy Center?
Well, owning my own business was a stage in life that I reached, and I felt that after 25 years selling advertising in Manhattan and in other parts of the country, I decided I would go into something that I thought I could control a little bit better and have a more stable existence. So I decided to open a copy center.
And how did you get the name the Copy Man?
Well, the first center that I opened was called 35 Main Copy Center, and it was located at 35 Main in Hempstead. And little ladies, customers I used to do work with, they would get in touch with me and said, I recommended so-and-so to come to your center, but I couldn't remember the name of it. I told them to go up to Main Street to the Copy Man. Mm-hmm. And that took more of a trick for me to change the name to Copy Man from 35 Main. So it stuck.
It has more of a ring to it, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You also worked for advertising.
Yes.
For some big companies, some big names. You worked for Newsweek, you did Family Circle, Black Enterprise, and you also did Essence. You worked for Essence, a magazine, and probably one of the biggest names, the New York Times. Mm-hmm. How did it feel working with such big names and corporations like that? Was there a lot of pressure? Was it fun?
It was fun. It was never like work, and in each company that I went to, I would grow. Of course, you move out to move up, yeah. And I would grow and I would make more money. So money was never the problem working for these companies, but it was fun, never like going to work.
Also, and this is very interesting, you took time off from the 22-year span business that you were running to pursue a writing career, and you actually got very good reviews and high acclaim for these books, To Protect and Serve and No Place Like Home, which you won the Nassau County Literary Award in Eisenhower Park.
Right.
Can you just tell us a little bit about these books?
Well, I've been writing for a long time, because even when I was working in corporate America, I was writing plays. But writing a play with 50 pages is quite a bit different than writing a book with 300. So I found that when these two books came to mind, and I dreamed one and thought it through and put it on paper, at that point I knew that I had something that I could live with, and it was in my way running a business and trying to get those books written. So I had to shut down, literally retire, and concentrate a full day each day on writing those books.
So to protect and serve, what is that about? Just tell our viewers.
Protect and Serve is really a book about terrorists taking over buildings in areas close to major transportation hubs, such as the 59th Street Bridge and Triborough Bridge. And there were two buildings located within blocks of those bridges, geared to go off, stocked with explosives, and geared to go off with the opening of the World Trade Center Memorial. So the terrorists that had done this had been in the country planning that for months. And the plan was going like clockwork, because they knew that the president and other world leaders would also be at the World Trade Center. And the book was written 6 years ago. When I read it in the paper recently about when we opened the World Trade Center Memorial, how much fear there was, it made me regret that I hadn't kicked that book up a notch. A Place Like Home was a book about a young man, 16 years old, who had quit school. He was laying around the house. His parents got into a hassle with him, and as he stormed out of the house in the midst of a hassle, the last thing he heard his mother say was, "Remember, there's no place like home." He went to the street, got in trouble, and was facing. When I heard about that case, he was on trial, and he was facing 20 years in prison. He was convicted, and he did do 10 years.
Congratulations on the awards.
Well, I thank you. Mangano recognized the work, and also Joycetta Pierce. I could never forget her, because she read one book and then had to run and read the other, and she awarded the literary award.
If being a business owner and working advertising and being an author wasn't enough, you also are a playwright, and you even direct. You've written eight plays, and you directed all of the ones that you wrote,
right.
And on top of that, you directed 9 from other writers.
Right.
Where at, I believe on one of your plays, Donnie McClurkin was the musical director.
Right. Now, Donnie McClurkin, it's the play that's on the wall, Speak of the Devil. And at that time, Donnie was just an organist. He was one of the best organists in Nassau County. And he would be basically freelance, because you could see him at churches all over who would hire him for certain services. And he was our musical director for this play, because he had not discovered that he was Donnie McClurkin yet. So after this play, he went on to become who we know now as superstar, Donnie McClurkin. The plays I wrote while I was working for corporate America, and they didn't require as much stress except putting them together. But 50 pages writing in a play is a lot different than 300 pages in a book. So we put these plays on off Broadway, because I happen to be in Midtown Manhattan. So a theater across the street from the New York Times, or a theater down the street from the New York Times, was within reason. So all of our plays were off Broadway, and we were able to bring crowds of churches and busloads of people to come into Manhattan. And I was doing this while I was working at these larger companies. So, and I had the time to do it. But when I opened up my business in Nassau County, and I put on plays, it was more difficult getting these same groups to come and see you locally, where they would come all the way to Midtown Manhattan.
I have a current play out. It's called Rainbow Dream.
The Rainbow Dream.
The Rainbow Dream.
Now, the Rainbow Dream this is my son. A picture behind you is of my son, and he all his life was involved in rap music.
Okay.
And he wanted this rap career, and I used to try and drum it out of his head. And I wrote a play about him called The Rainbow Dream. The Rainbow Dream is a play. It's a comedy, and it talks about a young man struggling to be a rap star, and the little things, the sounds of the traffic going by, he used as music to create a song. And he was using what I thought was flimsy little things to bring about a reality. And my son was heavily involved in rap at the time, so I used him as my primary character. And I called it Rainbow Dream because I didn't believe that there was any possibility of his attempts coming to success. So he went on over the course of several years, and he did the right things and made the right contacts and wrote the right words, and he was able to put together 3 albums, some of them hanging behind you, and they all went triple platinum.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, if we wanted to get to know you more or get to know more about you, where would we reach you? What would be the best place to reach you?
Well, I must say, Copy Center in Grand Avenue in New York, in Baldwin, Long Island. But I have a heavy presence on Facebook. I love Facebook, and I spend quite a few hours, idle hours, on Facebook. And I think I have about 4,600 friends there. And myspace.com/originalwriter was the first site that I was on, and I enjoy that. I spend time on there. It allows me to be wordy in what I'm trying to say. So. And also, of course, AOL. I'm on there for emailing, so I spend a lot of time on the computer.
Okay, so if we were to go on Facebook, it would just be facebook.com/Donald Durant.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure.
I appreciate you.
Hi, this is Keith B. Robinson from Cafe Long Island, and I'm here with our arts and entertainment reporter, Aziza White. She's going to perform a poem called Blackout. So what's the inspiration behind Blackout?
It's exactly what the title is. It's a poem I did like in the midst of a blackout. I have this alter ego that performs on stage sometimes. That'll be the person you'll be seeing perform, not this person right now. But the poem has to do with speaking for the unspoken and for the silence. And it gives empowerment to those people, and to basically tell them that if you ever were to write a poem, or if you ever were to perform or anything like that, have confidence and be sure about what you're saying and what you're writing, and then don't let no one else like stray you away from what your beliefs are. So that's pretty much what it's about. It's pretty simple and sweet, right to the point.
Cool. So we're gonna get right into that poem. Aziza White performing Blackout. This is Keith B. Robinson, Cafe Long Island.
Wrote this so hard I blacked out and soaked myself up in ink. Woke up half-faced, covered in the cause of what some would say I wrote blasphemy. Felt like a warrior brought back to life as a gladiator on acid sea. I must have swallowed a cuttlefish while leaving Eris writing murder in my sleep. Middle finger, index, and thumb left a numb hand covered in black as I rendered dubious consciousness back after a minute or 3. Finger painted my desk with a gentle sadistic streak. See, back then, my pen would have had me burned as a laughing witch with bruise strung down her forearm where I once thought of slitting. Wonder what color would have made my blood turn if it spilt from the ankle of my hand and react to ink by spelling out leftover words I've yet to spoken birth to. Wonder if it would sting more to be so curious. Writing in such dedication would give a stroke if I were left-handed. But lucky me to be model for some things and right-handed for others, as some should. But I'd write a dictionary for the muted tongue with both hands if I could.